that some folk church folk do, like turn up in the sanctuary. Y'all might as well sit down. Turn up in the sanctuary, wait for the choir to sing your song. And the choir don't sing your song, then you just sit there with your mind wandering somewhere. Get out your iPhone, get out Samsung, because you might have burned up. But get out your phone and start scrolling down. I'm not talking about picking and choosing who you will respond to in the worship service. I'm not talking about you choosing to listen to certain sermons and certain preachings. I'm not talking about you coming out of tradition or because it's the proper thing to do or because you want to belong to a certain church. Are y'all listening to me? I feel like preaching now. No, I'm preaching about a spirit of worship that comes on you and you declare without reservation that God, you are worthy. You're worthy of all the honor. You're worthy of all the glory. You're worthy of all the praise. I'm talking about the kind of worship that says, I may be tired. I've been working all week dealing with some crazy Negroes and some white folk on my job. I had to fight the traffic in here. Didn't have enough gas to make it here. Folk drive like they ain't got no sense. I'm talking about the kind of worship where you declare, I may be going through some stuff. I'm in a rough place in my life. The devil's attacking me on everything inside. My tears have been my meat night and day. I don't even know how I'm going to make it. I got a bunch of problems with no answers. My money is funny. My honey is crazy. My children are acting stupid. My members act like they done lost their natural mind. But I'm going to worship you. I may not like what the choir is singing. I may not like what the preacher is preaching. But I'm going to worship you anyhow. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Please listen to me. Because a whole lot of us won't listen this. When we really worship God, we realize that our being here is not about us, but it really is about Him. But can I just tell you, the problem is that us preachers are guilty of messing y'all up. We're guilty of messing y'all up because we have started preaching what I call me-ocentric sermons. Sermons that are all about me, mine, and mine. We started preaching sermons because we want y'all to like us. We want y'all to jump up and shout because we're preaching sermons that tell you you won't get blessed all the time. But Reverend Dyson, we need to start preaching theocentric sermons. Theo about God. Sermons that are centered on God. Sermons that help us to understand this God that we serve requires something of us, and what God requires is our worship. God wants us to be a worshiping people. God wants us to submit our wills, to submit our minds, to submit our everything to Him. God wants us to come up in here and to forget about ourselves and to worship Him. I wish I had some help. I wish I had some help. I wonder if I have about 50 worshipers, about 50 worshipers in the house. Say it. Say it. Wait a minute. Let me go back to the text. So when God asked Abraham to offer his son up as a sacrifice, he went to a place and he began to worship God. And guess what? God did something. God did something for Abraham. For after Abraham worshiped God, somebody say after. After Abraham worshiped God, he was ready to give God what God asked of him. And can I just insert right here? If we have really worshiped God, when we come out of worship, we ought to be more experience. He takes the wood of the burnt offering. He laid it on Isaac, his son. I want you to see the image. He made the fire. He had the knife in his hand because he was ready to give it up. Because what? He had worshiped God. And the two of them went together. And Isaac spoke to his father and said, I see the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? Because in those days what they offered up was a lamb, not a person. Well, now Abraham just keeps going and continues his act of worship, saying, God, I love you. God, I honor you. God, I adore you. He built an altar, a place of worship, and stretched out his hand with his knife, ready to slay his only son. But at that point, the angel of the Lord said, do not lay your hand on the lad. But now I know that you fear the Lord, since you have not withheld your son, your only son from him. And when Abraham, watch it now, look at the text, I'm in the text, and when Abraham looked in his eyes, there was a ram in the bush, caught in the thicket. So Abraham took the ram because he didn't have to offer up his son, because God had provided a ram in the bush. Now I need you to pay attention to this and don't miss it. The